My name is Mia. I'm 26 years old and I live in a cozy little town where everyone seems to know everyone. I'm the kind of person who lights up a room. I love chatting, cracking jokes, and making people laugh. My friends are my world. We're always out somewhere, picnics by the lake, craft beer nights, or dancing until the clubs close, but I'm not always on. When I need a break, I curl up with manga or binge Korean dramas, the colors, the emotions, the wild plots. And when boredom hits, nothing beats a long gaming session. I can sink into a co-op raid or a story-driven RPG until sunrise, headphones on, soda in hand. People see the extrovert and assume that's all there is. They're wrong. One spring, I signed up for a kickboxing class. My crew swore it was a blast, and I figured the workout would balance out the late-night tacos. The gym was packed, sweaty beginners, a few pros, equal mix of women and men. I had to bite my tongue to keep from joking with strangers mid-punch. I rolled out my gloves and scanned the room. That's when I noticed Alex. He kept to the far corner, shadowboxing in perfect rhythm. Quiet, focused, almost invisible unless you looked twice. Dark hair stuck to his forehead. His eyes tracked every move the coach demonstrated. Class ended in a blur of sore shoulders and high fives. A few of us headed to the juice bar next door. Alex lingered by the exit, shifting his weight like he wanted to speak but couldn't find the first word. I flashed him a grin. He smiled back, small, surprised, real. First day? I asked. Yeah, he said, rubbing his wrist. Coach wasn't kidding about the combos. My shoulders are screaming. I laughed. Give it a week. The pain becomes a badge. Short exchange, but it stuck. He wasn't one of my bar hop buddies, he felt steadier. Next session, we ended up paired for bag drills. Between rounds we talked. I mentioned gaming to pass the time. You game? His eyebrows shot up. Whenever life lets me, I said. RPGs, fighters, indies, you name it. The guarded look melted. Same. Most people here think gamer means angry 12-year-olds. Finally, someone who gets it. After that, we lingered post-class. We swapped Steam names, argued over best soundtracks, dissected boss fights. Sometimes we branched into shows, my K-dramas, his gritty crime series. He actually listened when I rambled, eyes locked on mine, nodding at the right moments. It was new. It was nice. One Thursday he texted, coffee? Not the gym kind, real coffee. We met at a tiny bookshop cafe, all mismatched chairs and steaming mugs. No thumping music, no tequila shots, just us. He talked soccer tactics, ancient history, city politics. I admitted I only knew half the terms but loved the fire in his voice when he explained. I told him about midnight karaoke disasters and the time we turned a camping trip into an accidental mud wrestling tournament. He laughed so hard he snorted latte. Walking home, city lights flickering, I felt that flutter, equal parts nerves and hope. A few days later we hit the Riverside Trail at dusk. Cool breeze, leaves rustling. We traded childhood stories, favorite albums, dumb fears. Each loop around the path peeled back another layer. Different worlds, sure, but the overlap felt electric. I couldn't wait for the next round. That night, tangled in my sheets, I couldn't stop replaying Alex's face, how his eyes crinkled when he laughed, how he tilted his head while I talked, like every word was worth catching. My chest felt fizzy, like I'd swallowed a sparkler. The following weeks blurred by in a string of kickboxing classes and late-night texts. We caught a sci-fi flick at the indie theater, argued over the ending while sharing popcorn. One rainy Saturday he came over. We demolished a co-op campaign on my Switch, yelling at the screen, collapsing in giggles when we both died to the same stupid trap. "You're vicious," he teased. Nudging my shoulder, says the guy who panic rolled off the cliff. I fired back, but tiny cracks started to show that he'd light up talking Premier League stats or some documentary on the Roman Empire. I'd nod, smile, try to keep up, but half the references flew over my head. I joked to cover the silence, worried he'd clock me as shallow. One night he caught the flicker in my eyes. "Hey," he said softly, "I love that you listen. Most people just wait to talk. You actually hear me." Warmth flooded my ribs. "And I love when you grin like that, like the world just handed you a secret." He laughed, cheeks pink. "You're the secret." Still, my phone buzzed less from the group chat. "Mia, you ghosting us?" My bestie teased over brunch. "Just busy," I mumbled, thumb hovering over Alex's name. The first couple months felt golden. We cooked terrible stir-fry, binged the same series twice just to pause and debate twists, demolished entire pizzas while speedrunning levels. He was nothing like the guys who flexed at clubs, quiet, deliberate, thoughtful. I liked the calm orbit he pulled me into. Then the orbit started clanging. One Friday he sprawled on my couch, controller loose in his hands. "Ever watch soccer? The new season's wild." I wrinkled my nose. "Only if the ball's glowing and I'm mashing buttons." He chuckled, but his eyes dimmed a notch. "Fair. Maybe one match, just us, snacks, no pressure." I agreed, but my stomach twisted. Next class, he unpacked some podcast about medieval trade routes. I tried, really tried, to follow, but the names blurred. When he finished, I managed. "Wild how much they fit on one ship, huh?" He smiled, polite, but I felt the gap widen. One evening I blurted, "Do you think I'm dumb?" He dropped his water bottle. "What? No. You read people like code. You make everyone feel seen. That's its own genius." The knot in my chest loosened. Until the next test I dragged him to girls' night at our favorite neon bar. Bass thumped. My friend spun me under strobe lights, shrieking lyrics. I beamed, beckoning Alex from the booth. He lifted a hand, half smile, but stayed planted. Later my friend whispered, "Cute, but does he ever unplug the serious?" Walking home, I laced my fingers through his. "They're intense, I know. You're you. That's why you fit me." He squeezed back, but his silence felt heavy. We kept trying. He invited me to a local soccer match, sun high, crowd roaring. He explained offsides with the patience of a coach. I lasted 20 minutes before people watching the kiss cam. "You hate it," he said. Not angry, just reading me. I tried, I whispered. He kissed my temple. Trying counts. So I pulled him to the rooftop club, fairy lights and reggaeton. I spun under his hands, laughing, begging him to move with me. He shuffled, stiff, then retreated to the railing. "Too loud," he admitted, ears pink. "I'm sorry," I said. "No, my bad. I'm the fish on the dance floor." We laughed it off, but the echo lingered. Still, the good days glowed. Marathon gaming till 3 a.m., trading headsets to scream at clutch saves. Midnight ramen runs, debating which anime villain deserved redemption. Slow walks along the river, hands swinging, trading secrets like baseball cards. Those moments felt like oxygen. But every time we left that bubble, a chill crept in. The spark only flared when we were side questing or arguing over subtitles. Step outside, and the air thin. One desk on my couch, controller idle between us. I blurted, "Alex, Do you think this has legs? He stared at the paused screen so long I heard the fridge hum. I want it to, he said finally. But sometimes it feels like we're sprinting on parallel treadmills. The honesty stung, but it fit the ache I'd been swallowing. We can patch the gaps, I offered. That he gave a tired smile. Let's try. We did. We kept showing up to class, kept stealing evenings. But the gap yawned wider, like a save file corrupted one pixel at a time. I'd lie awake wondering, is this love, or just the best co-op partner I've ever had? The fracture finally spoke for us. We met after kickboxing, sweat still cooling. He suggested the corner cafe with the chipped mugs. I nodded, stomach already nodding. He ordered black coffee. I nursed chamomile like it could calm the storm. He launched into a chapter about the fall of Constantinople. I tracked his lips, not the words. My mind was busy sketching a future that suddenly looked pixelated. He noticed. You're miles away, Mia. Deep breath. Can we keep this? Silence pooled. Then, I care about you, God, so much. But we're sprinting in opposite directions wearing the same shoes. I wanted fireworks, a dramatic save-the-date speech. Instead he handed me truth, gentle and final. My eyes prickled. I know. His fingers brushed mine across the table. You're not a stranger. You're a favorite chapter. Just, maybe not the whole book. I managed. So we close it here? He nodded once, slow. Before the pages tear. I walked home under streetlights that felt too bright. The sidewalk stretched like a loading bar stuck at 99%. Inside my apartment I folded into the couch and let the tears win, ugly, loud, necessary. The morning tasted metallic. My lock screen stayed blank. Kickboxing class echoed without his quiet grin in the back row. I didn't search for him. Cowardice or mercy, hard to tell. Friends texted in all caps, emergency brunch. I ignored them. They showed up anyway, dragged me into daylight, shoved a mimosa in my hand. I laughed at the wrong times, danced off beat, but the music still moved my feet. Weeks blurred. The pain dulled from stab to bruise. One night I booted up the RPG we'd abandoned mid-campaign. My thumb hovered over delete save. Instead I hit continue. This is mine too, I told the empty room. I beat the boss we'd rage quit together, felt the victory land in my own chest. Another day I passed a bookstore, saw a slim volume on Viking trade routes. I snorted, bought it, read 3 pages before bed. Not for him, for the curious itch he'd accidentally left behind. Mirror check one random Tuesday. Eyes puffy, but a glint had returned. You loved, you lost, you leveled up, I told M. My reflection. I went back to kickboxing. New faces, same sweat. No Alex. A quick pang, then the instructor cued burpees and the moment passed outside. Evening air tasted like restart. I'm still single, still loud. Still me, only now with scar tissue that proves I can feel deeply and keep walking. Love isn't just shared save files. It's shared maps, shared silences, shared futures you can both read without subtitles. Alex and I overlapped in beautiful corners. But corners aren't houses. I keep the memories on a high shelf, warm. Not sharp. One day someone will step into the whole frame, the dance floor, the history lecture, the 3 a.m. speedrun, the quiet mornings. Until then, I've got friends who scream lyrics with me, manga that makes me cry laugh, and a controller that fits my hand just fine. Alex was my first real boss fight in the game of love. I didn't win the run, but I walked away with better gear. Thanks for writing this story with me. If it hit anywhere close to home, drop a like, share your own plot twist below. And tell me where you're watching from. See you in the next chapter. Life's too short for bad sequels.